Welcome to the Pulse of Spokane. Join us for the latest in news, views, and conversation with community leaders. The Pulse of Spokane is brought to you in part by Homes for You, Well-Dressed Walrus, and Spokane Firefighters Local 29. Now, put your finger on the Pulse of Spokane.
Well, welcome to the Pulse of Spokane, the Spokane of the Pulse, whatever it is today. It's the 17th of September, and I was working on the schedule for October, and I realized that that's only like 2 weeks away. I don't know where the month is going. It is fall outside. It's currently 62 degrees, going to head to a high of 65. And this afternoon, about a 50% chance of rain. But watch out tomorrow, it's 70% chance, and it's only going to reach 60. We've got some great guests. Stay tuned to the Pulse of Spokane.
Here at Creative Music Learning Center, we are dedicated to your learning no matter where you are on your journey. Whether you are a beginner, a casual player, or need some brushing up on technique, we are here for you. When you begin lessons with us, our teachers take the time to understand what kind of learner you are and how we can help you further your knowledge, offering a variety of instruments including piano, guitar, voice, violin, and more. We are here and ready to get started with you. The economy is getting stronger, banks are lending again, and interest rates are at historic lows. Now is a great time to buy your dream home. The caring and knowledgeable professionals at Homes for You have been helping people just like you for over 20 years. They take the time to listen to what you want and will help you find just the right home in Washington or Idaho. Real estate is what we do at Homes for You, 928-5782, or visit online at homes4uspokane.com. Think of North Idaho Events as your business development advisor. We produce events of all kinds: trade shows, themed expos, fundraisers, corporate workshops, and more. We will discover the most appropriate event that your company can most opportunistically shine. We provide the platform to feature local businesses in front of a high quantity of their ideal customer. Share your story with April Howard over a cup of coffee so she can most appropriately guide you and your business into new heights and create a most mutually beneficial relationship.
Well, welcome back, and I'm pleased to have a new guest and a new project in Spokane. And I'm excited about this because I think it's going to help fill a really good need in our community. And your name is Shauna Edwards. I got to get it right.
Yeah.
Did I get it close?
Yep, you got it.
Okay. All right. And you're going to be kind of in charge, and you're masterminding everything going on now for the, what's the name of the school? Lumen High School.
I
got to get it right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, Lumen. Think of lights.
Yes.
Lumen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is this? You just had an announcement the other day, didn't you?
Yep, we are a brand new public charter school for Spokane. That's
Right.
for teen parents and their children,
Right.
all in one site. So it's an early learning center and a high school together
Right.
for our community. And Spokane Schools just approved us, and we got the contract all signed around.
Oh,
so
good,
we just
good.
announced that.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, and then we also just found our facility, so that was our second announcement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, where are you going to be?
Right downtown on Riverside, across from the bus plaza. So
Okay.
it's 718 West Riverside.
Okay. Now, why that location?
Accessibility really is the number one reason. So many of our students will be coming from all over the county, and so
Right.
having bus services is really
It
important.
really makes a difference so they can literally walk across the street and get to school and
Right.
not have to
Yeah.
transfer and so forth. You know, we hear a lot today about charter schools and a lot of negative things, unfortunately, about them because it's just for the rich kids or just for the smart kids. But to me, here's an example of some kids that really will benefit. And often the charter schools are targeting and really working with lower income and those who maybe aren't in the greatest school areas and young folks like you're going to have.
Yeah, our law in Washington State, we're so late to the game for charters across the country.
Yeah.
It was aimed at students that aren't being served by the general school districts. And so that's like, there's a really narrow category. You have to be serving an underserved population to even get a school approved.
And what is that underserved population?
So for us, it's teen parents and
Yes.
their kids. And so really just in Spokane, over the course of the last 10 years, all of the different programs that used to exist for different reasons,
Yes.
budgets or different programming elements, they closed down. So we don't have any options in the whole county for students that are parenting and trying to finish high school. Yeah.
Really? That's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
because you've got all the challenges and everything that come with that, of being a mother or a mother and father or whatever, and trying to do school, and you need some extra support there.
Yeah. Yeah, most of the parents that we know, for 10 years I ran a local nonprofit that worked with teen parents providing mentoring and support, and
Okay.
they would always say, I have to choose. I can either be a parent or I can be a student. I can't be both.
Oh, wow.
And that's, when you put those two things up against each other, the lifelong trajectory of that person is,
It's not good.
yeah, it's
For
tough.
either,
It's a tough
for any
road.
of them.
Yeah.
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 So that's kind of been our big,
What have you
Motivation.
found as you've talked to potential partners in the community and the general community itself in terms of the response to doing this?
the response has been really overwhelming. When we
Good.
first went and met with Spokane Public Schools, they're our authorizer, which means they
Right.
provide some oversight and to our school. They were 100% in support of just wanting us to get open so that we could serve that need for their
Right.
district. So, and then other districts have been really supportive, and then community members at large have just said, we have to do something about.
So will this include the parents and children from outside of District 81?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we
Okay.
hope, we've talked with the districts that surround,
Yes.
and they also have teen parents that live in their districts and don't have programs. So that's sort of also our reasoning for being right downtown, is that we can
Okay.
sort of have this hub.
So they can get on the bus in
Yeah.
the valley or North Spokane and come downtown
Yeah.
versus being like in the valley, which means if you're in North Spokane or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a
That
long-
playing the game of transfers.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
so many bus transfers.
Yeah.
Yeah. We, even like the West Plains could, or Medical Lake, they
Okay.
could all access the transit center downtown.
Yeah.
So
what are you going to do that's different from the normal 3 R's? Okay.
so we imagine a place where
You're not old enough to even know what I'm talking about, are you? Reading, writing, and arithmetic.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We kind of talk a lot about like project-based life skills. So taking like the life skills that our students need to do with budgeting and finance and parenting and just all of the things that they're doing all day long as a parent, and then putting that together with their academics, because we think learning can happen in a variety of different ways.
Yeah.
So, and then helping them really learn to like advocate and become leaders in our community.
And
is a
part of
big
it is
part of our program.
in education itself, but especially with majority of your clientele are going to be girls, women, right? I mean, that's just
Yeah.
pretty
We're
logical.
We're for both, but
But you know, they've got so many pressures going on and everything else, and helping them with that lifelong learning, because it's not just when they graduate from there, but when they are able to go to Eastern or to community college or get a trade. I mean, we've always talked about going on to higher education, but today you can make some darn good money
Yeah.
in the trades, and especially with the need for housing and everything else. I mean, that's what I hear constantly from contractors and others is, can't we need more in the trades? And they can make some darn good money.
oh yeah, and we've talked a lot about like adding an element of internships while
Oh, good,
they're at
good.
the school, so that they will be able to experience different opportunities to see what they want to do. And then we're going to offer a lot of the services on site, like their children's medical appointments
Oh, good.
and their dental visits, and trying to bring those things on site so they don't have to miss school for their
Yes.
kid to go get a checkup.
Another reason to have a central location and so forth. Okay, let's talk specifics.
Okay.
When does this open? Next week?
No, we need a year.
Okay.
We're in our planning year right now. So
Yes.
last year was paperwork. This year is planning. So we are opening.
And next year is people.
People.
Another P.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
The 3 Ps of charter schools: paperwork, planning, people. So we open next fall
Yes.
of 2020.
Okay.
And we're enrolling right now interested students.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
We already have parents signing up, school counselors contacting us.
Oh,
so,
wow. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So we'll take 60 students and 60 children in our
Okay.
first year. So
Okay.
120.
Do you think you'll max out to start with?
We've been told we will, but
Okay.
we'll have to wait and see.
I know. But there's that kind of interest.
Yeah, we've had a lot
And
of.
between now and next fall, let's face it, that's 11 months from now, 10 months
Yeah.
from now, yeah. So it's a time off, and things change and things happen, people move and
Right,
so forth.
right.
But yeah,
On like an average, our county has about 250 live births to teen moms each year. So
Oh, wow.
you add that up
Okay,
every
okay.
year. There's
so
definitely a population.
there's more clientele coming,
Yeah,
unfortunately. But yes,
Yeah.
All right. Do you have a website and Facebook? How can people get more information?
Yes.
Because I know there are people watching today that, one, want to learn more, and number two, I hope support this program. Okay, here's a chance
thank
to put some dollars up, whether it be $5 or $100 or $1,000 or more. Okay.
Yeah, we have a website. It's lumenhighschool.org.
Okay.
And we are fundraising right now for all the cribs and desks and
Oh, yeah.
changing tables and all the supplies to outfit the
Yeah.
classrooms for the children and their parents.
And if someone wanted to fund a classroom, what would that cost?
An early learning classroom is $7,000 and
That's
a high
not
school
bad.
classroom is $3,500. Just kind of, we package them
Yeah,
with all the
yeah.
needs. Yeah.
There are a lot of businesses watching right now that could do that.
Oh, yeah.
So
well,
we'll see if we
that's-
can't
yeah,
get
we're
them.
looking for partners in
Yeah.
our community right now.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
Will you keep coming back and keep us informed?
Yes, and
of
I'd
what's
love
going-
to bring some of our students back.
Perfect. That would be great.
Yeah.
Let's plan to do it.
Okay,
All right.
sounds
Once
good.
again, where can they get the information?
lumenhighschool.org.
All right. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with a coach, but not the kind of coach you think, right after this.
This is Looms Day in Spokane. We got about 40 firefighters and their friends and family handing out 40,000 cups of water as the day goes by.
It's a very good opportunity to see the public and support them and help them out and cheer them on during Bloomsday.
It's one of the best things about Spokane is that we have these major events and the whole community comes together not just to participate but to volunteer and show that they really care about our city and making our city look great.
This type of an event really is emblematic of Spokane because so many people get involved. We have 50,000 people probably running this race. Always has been a very huge event.
Right now we're at the corner of Broadway and Nettleton. It's the last water station before the finish, so people are pretty much dehydrated by the time they get to us. They really need our water.
The water stations are a vital part, especially on warm days like today. It's real important that we have the volunteers to help with that. Without the volunteers, Bloomsday wouldn't exist.
All up and down the course, there are people that are involved in this celebration. It really is a celebration of what Spokane's all about.
I'm Nikki Butler, and I'm a regional manager for STCU. My lunch buddy is Nicole.
I'm Brandy Schloss. I'm a regional manager at STCU. My lunch buddy is Angelina. She's grown up with me. I've grown up with her. To see her graduate will be a lot of fun.
Brandy and I have been lunch buddies since the girls were in second grade. It's great that STCU provides me with the opportunity to be part of Reach for the Future. We are committed to the children. We're committed to our community. I'm Nikki.
I'm Brandy.
And STCU is here for good.
This is River Ridge Frame Shop, called Frame It Today, where we can take your art, customize it, and get it ready to hang on the wall. Here at River Ridge Hardware, 2803 West Garland.
Well, I said coaching, and that's true in so many senses because Kevin Weir's Uncles, brothers?
My father.
Your father
was a wrestling coach for Ferris High School.
Yes, yes.
And
Ferris.
Yeah, and my uncle was.
My kids went to LC. I'm sorry, we're done with it. No, I'm kidding.
My uncle was a wrestling coach at North Central.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. But you're in a different kind of coaching.
Yes, I am.
And talk about what is that you're doing?
So I am a business coach.
Okay.
So we take a look at many small business owners. The biggest three challenges that small business owners have is that a lot of them, they don't make the kind of money they want. Number two, they work way too many hours.
Okay, that's two out of three.
2 out of 3. And then number 3, they have dysfunctional team members. They struggle with.
Well, 3 out of 3.
There you go. Absolutely.
There goes our live feed. No, really. We're very blessed to have a great team, honestly,
That's great.
here.
Exactly.
Yeah. So how do you find folks to help coach?
Well,
how does that happen?
A lot of it is just getting out into the community, meeting the people who know other people,
right,
and shaking people's hands and just, hey, who are you? How can I help you?
And someone goes, you could help me.
Yeah, interesting. It's interesting. I had a conversation this morning with the Washington State University Extension Manager up in, of all places, Republic, Washington.
Okay.
And one of the things I just discovered today that in the Tri-County area, Okanagan, Ferry, and Stevens County, 87% of their businesses will fail in the first year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a terrible
rate.
rate.
So we're talking about, we just had a conversation today about doing some work up there in Republic to help these small business owners succeed.
What will be our first couple questions that you'll ask? Because that's close to 90%.
Well, a lot of it is that where do you want your business to go? What does your business look like when it's finished? And see, the problem with most business owners is that they are very short term. They just want to get to the next payroll. They want to make it through a certain season.
Right.
And my first question is, what is your exit plan? Because here's the thing, is that you have a 100% chance of exiting your business.
Yes.
And here's the question is, how
on
will
your
you,
terms or?
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Are you going to actually sell the business at a profit, or are you just going to take the keys, throw them on the desk, shut the lights off, and call it good?
And we've both seen people do both of those, haven't we? I mean,
we sure have.
Where I'm thinking of the mattress company out, Northwest Mattress.
That's right.
Did that because they couldn't find anyone else to really operate and so forth, and that had been run by a family and so forth, and very involved in the community and so forth, and so they're missed now.
Yes.
And we've seen that with other, and then we've seen the selling of our businesses to somebody else, and hopefully someone that buys the business will want to keep it here because we want to keep the job here. And I guess that's one of the reasons I'm so hung up on really promoting small business, because if something does happen, they do get eaten up by somebody else, then you're not losing 500 employees to, which is pretty difficult to bring in, overnight. But if it's a 10 or 15 employee, they can probably be absorbed in the community and so forth, but not 500.
Understood. You're right.
Yeah. Well, what do you look for in terms of size of business as you go through this process?
So I'm typically looking for an established business. There's great organizations here in our area, such as SCORE and Washington State Business Development Association, that work with the pure startups, the ones that have an idea. I'm working with established businesses. Typically, they have like at least minimum 3 to 4, 5 employees, up to about 30, anywhere from $250,000 revenue up to $8 million revenue.
Okay.
Somebody who
they've been in business for a few years.
Yeah, but they've hit a ceiling.
Yes.
They started. They had the I call it the entrepreneurial impulse. They got going.
But now what?
And now what? So they've just hit this plateau, and now they're stuck. They worked the hours. They don't make the money. They've got the problem employees, and they feel like they're trapped.
Yeah.
And so my job is to go in, sit down with that business owner and say, okay, how are we going to get you from point A, where you are at right now, to point B is where you want to be?
Yes.
First thing we have to determine is, what's point B?
Yes.
What does that look like? If we don't have an idea of where you're, here's the whole thing I like to tell people is, if you don't know where you're going, all roads will take you there.
Yes.
So we got to determine point B.
Okay.
And then once we're at point A, how are you going to get from here to there?
Right.
What does that game plan look like? What are all the strategies, the tactics, and the process to get there.
Does some of that include coming in and looking with that owner about how he's staffed and what kinds of skills that maybe subject C over here needs to be doing more of marketing, or, you know, maybe better floating people around in terms of what they can do?
Absolutely, because so many times you're not using the skills of your people appropriately.
So you can go in and assess some of the skills as well.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well,
sometimes we as owners are too close to that.
Right, exactly.
You know? Yeah.
So my job is to really go in and say, okay, so you have a team. Well, first of all, even before the team, we have to get some of the basics in place, because there's 4 things we always have the fundamental foundation of a business. Your financial mastery.
Yes.
Do you have your finances in place? Do you deliver your services with systematic consistency? So delivery mastery.
Yes.
Then time mastery. How do you use your time? If you're a business owner and you're spending all of your time doing what I call $10 to $12 an hour tasks, you're not working on the most important things in your business. And then finally, destination mastery. Where are you going with this business? What is your vision for the business? What's your mission? And most importantly, what culture are you developing in your business?
Because if you're just thinking about the next 6 months, that's where you're going to get.
You're going to get, exactly. If all you see is just that far ahead, then you're going to be in the spin cycle of business, and you're going to be doing the same thing over and over again.
Kevin, how can people get in touch with you?
Well, I've got a website, actioncoachspokane.com.
Okay.
Or I've also got my Facebook, Coach Kevin Weir.
Everybody has Facebook, almost.
Facebook, yep.
Okay. And so people... do you sit down with people for a little bit just to find out? And
yes, I do.
There's a $1,000 a minute charge or something?
No. What I do is an initial conversation, and then I do what I call a complimentary coaching session. Right. I basically treat these people like I would any other client, and at the end, if you want my services, great. If not, take what I call the Costco freebie. Take the Costco freebie and run with it.
Well, and you may find out that, okay, they're beyond what you can help them with, or they're not ready for that yet. They need to take these steps, and in 6 months, come back and talk to me.
Absolutely,
yep. So, great. Kevin, thank you.
Oh, thank you very much.
All right, good to have you here today.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back right after this.
The economy is getting stronger. Banks are lending again, and interest rates are at historic lows. Now is a great time to buy your dream home. The caring and knowledgeable professionals at Homes for You have been helping people just like you for over 20 years. They take the time to listen to what you want and will help you find just the right home in Washington or Idaho. Real estate is what we do at Homes for You, 928-5782, or visit online at homes4uspokane.com.
Welcome to a new kind of talk show, Spokane Talks, where you find news, views, and conversations that include respect for opinions, facts, and diversity.
Spokane Talks, Saturdays at 8 a.m. on Fox 28.
O'Brien Logistics would like to invite you to try our local and regional transportation services. With Sprinter vans, lift gates, hot shot flatbeds, and expedited services, our people are ready to step in and help with your transportation needs. Our services are 24/7, 365, and we are trained and prepared to handle air cargo and Canadian shipments. Give us a call at 208-305-2311 or visit our website at o'brienlogistics.net. That's OBRIEN logistics.net.
Michael Cathcart of Better Spokane. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Welcome to our new studio.
Yes. Well, I just have to thank you. I mean, you love Northeast Spokane, District 1 so much. You moved your entire studio right into my district. That's right.
Great.
Yes.
Well, where are the cinnamon rolls and where's the...
I know. We didn't roll out the red carpet for you, but this is Northeast Spokane. So.
I know. Let's talk about Better Spokane and that you head up and has really taken on some issues here in Spokane. And one of them is Prop 1.
And Prop 2.
And Prop 2.
Yeah.
Tell me about those. How are they going? They're on the ballot.
They're on the ballot. Yeah, we qualified them back in June.
Yes.
And so they're going to be on the ballot this November. And
remind folks what 1 and 2 stand for.
Sure. So Proposition 1 is basically a transparency measure focused on ensuring that all budget negotiations, like collective bargaining, are done out in the open where the public can observe and
which is being done more and
participate.
more around the state now. Isn't
Absolutely.
it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Several counties have done it. A couple different school districts have done it.
Right.
And you see a lot of these controversies pop up over some of the agreements that are made, and this would just be a great way for the public to really know, kind of what's going on inside, have all the information, and I think it'd be really, really good for the public to have.
I hear rumblings once in a while, or I can envision rumblings from some of the unions going, I don't know that I want, but my thinking is, tell me how close I am to being right, lie and say I am, that this also gives them an opportunity to see how their representatives are
absolutely.
representing them.
Yeah, and I think that's what's really important about this. It gives the public the ability to make sure that their elected officials are doing everything they can on their behalf, and it also gives members of the various collective bargaining units the ability to see how their negotiators are performing and make sure that they're asking for the things that they really want to have, in their contracts.
I've heard stories about the two sides getting together and say, well, we agree on the first 3, let's move on, and let's have coffee brought in, and let's take this for a couple of days, so it looks like we've really negotiated hard and so forth. This is going to make it serious now.
The argument I've heard, in fact, just the other day, meeting with some representatives from one of the local unions, is just their concern, and I can understand this, is that it might drag out union negotiations a little bit longer, right? Well, I guess my retort to that is, we're still without a police guild contract, and it's 3 years later, and we don't have these reforms in place. So,
right.
So clearly, it doesn't really matter whether these are in place or not.
It might make it more effective, too.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, and this is just me speaking personally.
Yeah.
I really believe that an independent police ombudsman is really important, and we don't know how those negotiations are going on with the police guild in the city, and this would allow the public to know. The public supported it. In 2013, they passed the measure that put it into the charter, and this would allow them to know if that is something that's being negotiated. And
what else are you tracking these days?
Well, Prop 2 is the other measure that's also on the ballot that we qualified. It's going to be, it's a measure that's focused on essentially banning a local income tax. As we know, the city of Seattle passed an income tax last year, and it's gone through the appeals process, and as a result of that, they've come back with a ruling that said local cities like Spokane could in fact adopt our own income tax. And that would really put us at a competitive disadvantage with the valley and the rest of the county, and of course the whole region.
Folks coming from Idaho and all of that too. So,
yeah. And so it wouldn't be good for Spokane to do that. And so we're running a measure that just gives the folks in Spokane the ability to say, hey, that's not the way we want to do things in Spokane. We don't think an income tax is right. Let's be competitive in the region.
Right. So you got your hands full.
Absolutely, yes.
How many
can I add one more thing?
Yes, of course.
So we haven't made any big launch yet, but I think next week we will be kind of unveiling this, and I'll just kind of give folks a just sneak preview.
A little tease.
Yeah, well, we've mentioned this before, but we've been working on an app or a website that allows for anybody, media, the public, whoever you are, to analyze and see the votes that your city council members have taken. And this allows you to compare and contrast different council members to one another, how they voted with each other during certain periods of time. And we just think that this kind of goes along with the transparency that we think is so important and that we're just not seeing in the city right now. And so this is a way for the public and the media to get better access to this information, and we're going to keep it up to date and keep it out there for the public to access anytime, and we think it'd be a really tool for everybody to have. So,
actually, kind of a good transition to what I want to talk about, and one of those things is we're at a point now where my feeling is, living in the city, my wife and I talk about this often. When are we? She keeps bringing this up. When are we going to make some changes? And this is the year I see it coming. I finally see it coming, that we're going to have there's not a person that's elected right now, whether I live in their area or district or not, that I could vote for. We need some new blood. We need some experience. So you're going to be going. You're going to be going from Better Spokane to. You're a candidate in this district, in Northeast Spokane.
In Northeast Spokane, District 1, yeah.
How's it going?
You know what? I'm having a blast. It is so much fun getting out there, talking to folks, knocking on tons of doors, speaking it to different groups and doing a lot of forums. It has been just a blast, a really neat experience.
Well, between you and your opponent, both Republicans, both conservative, if you will, and so forth. I see you as the more conservative.
Well, I think
and
there's
more
there's
business
no
oriented.
Yeah, there's no parties on the ballot.
I know.
But certainly we're both right of center. I would say I'm the common sense candidate between the two of us. But
what kind of reception are you getting? Because to most of us, when you start thinking of Northeast, it's a poorer area oftentimes, and so forth.
We struggle.
You've got your other council member will be a liberal because she's on the council now, and so forth. And so it's an uphill battle for both of you guys.
Yeah.
But how are you being received as you go? Because you're knocking on a lot of doors.
I am. I would say the reception has been since the beginning of this campaign has been really positive, especially since the primary. I'm talking to everybody out there. Doesn't matter what their party affiliation is or where they see themselves on the political spectrum, and we're having some great conversations. Just yesterday, I met with a couple of the representatives from the union that represents some of the local nurses, and we had a great conversation. And they're really at risk of losing some of their benefits that have been promised to them for a long time, and that's really concerning. And so we got to pay attention to issues like that.
The health industry is a big 20% of
it's huge
employment in this area.
Big impact. Yeah, absolutely. So we've got to make sure that we're supporting those folks. But then you look at other big issues like crime. It is just out of control, and we've got to get a handle on it. I hear door after door after door from folks who say that they call, but nobody can come. And I don't blame our law enforcement officers, but I blame our city council for not redirecting enough resources to make sure that they can respond when they are called upon.
Well, when you have a city council that's worried about climate change, and when it's worried about oil trains coming through and things that they really can't control, how are they focused on, and putting rocks out so people don't sleep on the ground and so forth?
We have to get back to prioritizing, and
for what's good for the city's
absolutely.
Citizens.
And so what I have said is public safety is number one. Yes. I want to go through that budget with a scalpel. I want to redirect those resources to law enforcement. Right. I think over time we're going to have to hire 50 more officers, and I really want to see them on, kind of on the beat doing a neighborhood policing model that allows them to get. They know people. They know the neighbors. They know the employers. They can get out of their cars. Right. Monitor the alleyways. I can tell you from so many constituents that I've talked to that they have. That they know for a fact that drug dealers and the property thieves are using the alleyways as their method of transporting their goods. Yeah. And they've actually come up with a whole system of whistling to communicate to one another so they know if there's somebody, in the area that might, get in the way of whatever criminal activity they're doing.
So how can people find you? On your Facebook webpage?
VoteCathcart.com.
Okay.
That's the most direct way. Go to Facebook.com/VoteCathcart.
Okay.
We're updating stuff, just about every day there, trying to, let people know what we're doing on the campaign trail.
Great.
We've got a big event on October 5th that we're really excited about. Chauncey Welliver is going to be in the ring, and it's in support of our campaign. And so we are really excited. And if you want to attend, we've already sold out the tables, but if you're interested in being in attendance, you can get tickets at VoteCathcart.com, and we'd love.
So for a nice fee, you can wrestle with him.
That's a good idea for a fundraiser.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to do that next time.
Probably be quick. You can get them on and off real quick, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Michael,
yes.
Congratulations. I support what you're doing and I support your candidacy.
I appreciate your support so much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching today. Hope you have a great day. Next.
Spokane is produced in Spokane, Washington by SpokaneTalksMedia.com, which is solely responsible for its content. The Pulse of Spokane is brought to you in part by Homes for You, Well-Dressed Walrus, and Spokane Firefighters Local 29. Ask the host a question, recommend a guest, or hear this program again on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or SpokaneTalksMedia.com.